Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. Today we're going to do an RTA showcase for the new 5-star hero, Midnight Gala Lilias. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please see the video description below for a link to my Discord. So Midnight Gala Lilias is the new limited hero. She came out a few days ago. I played some games with her. Her kit's very interesting. It's basically a combination of Strays and Closer Charles. Her skill 3 here is going to penetrate, their defense based on the differential in health between her and the hero you attack. And it can go up to 100%, so she can one-tap a lot of tanky targets. And then her passive here gives her this ability to CR boost your team if she does enough damage to them, and give your team attack buff as well. So that's kind of the Closer Charles aspect. She does have a nice built-in survivability thing here with a damage limit, and her skill 1 is basically just damage, right? The other, I think, really unique thing about her kit is that both of her attacks always crit, so you don't have to build her with crit chance. So given that kit, I think there's kind of 3 main ways that you could build this hero. One is the way I've built her, which is a bridge in between an opener unit like Conquer Lilias and the rest of your team. So Conquer, those are going to be 300 plus heroes. They're going to go put up Vigor and stuff like that. Then Midnight Gala Lilias is going to go give your team attack buff. So it's a lot of damage. Another way you could build her is to use her as the opener, build her around 300 speed instead of 270, or even higher than that if you have the gear. And that can definitely work, but that's really premium gear, and I'm not really sure if it's worth it on her. Because you have to do enough damage to do 50% of their HP, so you still need good amounts of attack and crit damage at that really high speed to get to those numbers. And if you don't, then you won't CR boost, and it kind of defeats the purpose. A third way you could build her is with effect resistance, and you're obviously going to have to sacrifice damage or speed to get that. You could build her around 100 ER, and then use her artifact, which gives her 40 ER. That's going to give you 140. You'll resist a lot of things at that, like Spectre Tenebria stuns, Mediator Cower, strip, stuff like that. For me, it didn't seem worth it because I'm hoping to kill them before they have a chance to debuff me. I'm also using Windrider, so if I land a kill on her skill 3, she's going to hide with the stealth from Windrider, and that's going to prevent units from, like Spectre Tenebria, if they happen to get a turn from stunning me. So for me, the ER wasn't worth it, but you could slow her way down and use her more as a solo carry. And in that case, you probably go even higher ER, right? Like 200 or 200 plus. Torrent set, I think, is really premium on her because her skill 3 defense pens up to 100%. So she doesn't really need pen set, even though she's a single target hero. She basically just wants attack, speed, crit damage, and then plus minus ER if you're doing that type of build. So let's go ahead and look at some games with Midnight Gala Lilias. Alrighty, for these games we're going to pre-ban Zeo and Candy. We have first pick here. Lua is pre-banned, so we can take Conquer. I think Conquer is one of the better matchups with Midnight Gala Lilias. Several seasons ago there was a popular kind of aggressive draft of Conquer, and then you take like a DPS like Steny, and then a bridge unit like Emilia. So I feel like this is very similar to that. The difference here is that our attack buffer booster can also one-shot something. So I guess that's power creep. But I think this type of draft has the same weaknesses where things like Politis are going to be really annoying. Because Midnight Gala Lilias' S2 will proc Politis. And Conquer Lilias also procs Politis, so I feel like you're weak to Politis. You're also weak to Karina, because if Midnight Gala Lilias one-shots something, that's going to proc Karina, right? So then you have to deal with her some, way after that. I'll take the Politis here because he has AOL. And Midnight Gala Lilias can boost Politis with attack buff, so she should be able to do a lot of damage. The opponent takes Lionheart's Sirmia. So if he doesn't take any way to interact with me, I think he's going to get blown up. Yeah, he takes Yilha. So we can just take Stray's Leica. I think, any 2 DPS here, and we've pretty much won. This is kind of the weird thing, though. Like, Stray's Leica work well enough on their own without Midnight Gala Lilias. I mean, I guess she's a nice CR boosting if they ban Conquer and take something fast, maybe? I don't know, but we're banning less regardless. This just seems like an overwhelming amount of damage. I guess before, if we had like Hand Guy with this draft, and then they ban out one of our last two, we may lack enough damage to kill them. So, I mean, like, now we definitely do. It's kind of like we have 3 things that can blow up tanks in this draft. So going slow against this is, I think, not an option. You have to do something to interact, like Sage Ball or Karina or Lulucar, something to, you know, cut in between and interrupt the flow of aggression. So here we'll just push back. We have Vigor buff on Midnight Gala Lilias, so I think she should kill Mediator Calric through Aureus.
Let's carry out my plan. You're making me get my hands dirty. You should feel honored.
Yep, she does. So you see there's the boost up. And now we can just soul burn onto Lionheart, kill her, and that should be GG since Yolha and AOL cannot solo our team.
Objective ascertained. Everything in its right place. Simulation complete. Executed optimal. May blessings be with you. We expected this.
Yep, GG.
Come, I'll take your life.
This time the opponent has banned out AOL. I think if you don't pre-ban Zeo, and you can get Conquer, Zeo, Midnight Gala Lilias, that would be a really strong kind of opening 3 heroes. You probably need to lead with Zeo for that and then go C Lilias and Midnight Gala Lilias, I suppose. Or if you're on 2, take Zeo, Conquer, and then Midnight on 3. Alright, so yeah, the opponent goes Mediator again, and this is really like one of her best matchups, because Midnight Gala Lilias can just blow him up so easily. This time the enemy has taken something to interrupt us though, so there's the Lulucar there. We could take Solitaria to prevent Lulucar from proccing. I don't know if that makes us really weak to Ed if we do that, because Midnight Gala Lilias is going to have a hard time killing Ed because of the elemental disadvantage. She might miss on him a lot. I'll take Aiden. I don't think I'm really afraid of Bisaria here. I have 2 more picks, so we can pick a couple things to interact with that. You know, like Faithless Lidica, or we could pick Ed ourselves, potentially. And we have speed here with Conquer, so we don't have to worry about Zahak or Last Piece Corinne, you know, coming over the top and killing our Aiden before we get a turn. And I like the interaction with Midnight Gala Lilias and Aiden. Since Aiden is built slower, you can boost her up after the rest of, you know, your team is gone. She takes a turn and then puts invincibility on everybody. Okay, so he's taking Bihu and Karina. So these are 2 heroes that we're going to have a really hard time killing with the heroes that we already have. And I'm not really sure what like tank busters we could take to blow this up. So I think we have to run away and pick Lethe Dark Corvus, because I don't think either of those heroes can kill Lethe or Dark Corvus.
Learn your place.
You know, if we take Strays, we can probably get Strays a turn by not pressing buttons on Conqueror, and then Strays kills one thing, but then Karina procs and we just die. You know, we can't take Leica because there's a Lulucar there. Okay, he takes last pick ML Shu. We're going to ban that because it's injury. He's probably going to ban Lethe or DC. He bans Dark Corvus.
I'll make you taste despair.
For our first turn here, I don't think we should press skill 3 on Conqueror. That's going to boost Lulucar up. and could potentially silence our Lethe, you know, put hit down, all that bad stuff. We can use her to blow up Mediator though, because I don't think we really care if we proc Karina too much. And nice to get Mediator out of the way.
Got something for you.
Is it my turn now?
I'm a little busy over here.
Yeah, this is fine since now the enemy doesn't have a cleanse, so any debuffs our Lethe sticks, you know, can actually get some use. Oh, he hits and silences and hit downs Aiden. That's unfortunate, because I think that would have pushed Aiden ahead of Bihu. And we could have gotten invincibility up. But now Bihu will cut us and put buff block on our team. Ouch. So he goes into Conquer there, gets the defense break and does a bunch of damage. I think we soul burn this now just to get rid of the ice cream buff. Doesn't really matter, I guess. He doesn't have any more cleanse. So we actually restricted both Bihu and Karina. I wasn't expecting to land on Karina. She usually has ER. Okay, here comes Bihu. This is the third time I've seen that animation. Okay, we missed on Aiden. I don't think that really matters. Nice. Look at that value from Midnight Gala Lilias. So you can see here she doesn't really do much. And this is kind of the thing I've seen running, you know, her is if you pick her early, then the enemy team can pick units like this and just kind of invalidate her. Like, she's really bad into Karina. You know, if they do that, then you can always pivot away, but then it doesn't seem like much of a Midnight Gala Lilias showcase. So let's just focus on the fact that she blew up Mediator Kalric. I mean, she did her job, right? She took away one of the enemy units, and she also gave us value. So we got a CR boost, right? And his Kalric didn't even take a turn, essentially. And she's getting a little chip damage in here. So I think like that interaction favors my side overall. We got more value from, you know, those picks than the enemy did. I'm just going on Bihu here because once Bihu's dead, there's zero way that Lulu has enough damage to kill anyone.
If you're afraid, you can surrender.
Bihu's animation is actually pretty cool. Like those glowing tails. Alright, that's game.
This is thanks to everyone's hard work.
You really want your blood spilled? So be it.
This time the enemy has not pre-banned Lua, so we'll take her.
It takes a lot of courage to challenge me.
So the response to Lua is Red Lilias.
Don't worry.
And Aiden. So this is a Midnight Gala Lilias showcase, so we're going to pick her.
Let's carry
And then I guess we just take Briar Witch Iseria. She's good into Aiden.
challenge me.
If Red Lilias does get a turn and cleanses, then Briar can come in after her and then put buff block and defense break. Briar has immunity, so she can't get pushed back. She's a good counter into Aiden, so I think that makes sense to take Briar there. Okay, the enemy's taking Ed. Ed makes sense because we have a green unit in Briar Witch.
Who are you people?
Interesting, and a ML Celine. ML Celine seems very, very bad into Lua and Briar. You know, Briar prevents people from rezzing, so even if I don't attack or kill Celine in time, she can't bring anybody back. Also, Briar does extra damage on her abilities, so she can get around ML Celine's damage reduction passive. Who do I take here? Let's see. So I don't think we have really anything, like I don't think we can take, like Strays doesn't do much. He's just going to die to Celine potentially. Well, Spectre's probably fine. We can just play around the Ed and not Soulburn. And then I guess Karina.
I'm ready.
Karina's really good into Aiden and Celine.
Not bad.
Spectre's good into Aiden, Celine, and can kill Ed. Usually when I take Spectre into Ed, my goal is to not use Spectre's skill 3 in the beginning. You save Ed for last and then you skill 3 into him. And then at that point, Spectre has enough stacks and there's, you know, enough frenzy that Ed just explodes. And if you have attack buff, then it's even easier. So Midnight Gala Lilias will give my Spectre attack buff here, so potentially I could just kill the Ed right out the gate. Okay, we get first turn. So we're going to skill 2 Lilias with Lua. We're on Song of Stars, so if we land both of these debuffs, we can press skill 3. We do. So the way this works is because target has 2 turns and sleep has 1, it'll always cleanse the target. And I guess we soul burn here, because if we don't reset Celine, that could be really bad. Because I assume she's on Secret Art. Oh, she's not on Secret Art Swordstorm. I was assuming she was going to jump up there. Okay, who do I go on with Midnight Gala Lilias? I think we actually go on Celine. This will do 50% HP, which should proc my passive and boost up my team. I don't want to go on Red Lilias there because if we miss, we don't get, you know, any value, and she slept, so I kind of want her just to skip the turn.
You want to try me?
Okay, now we get a turn with Spectre. So the CR boost here was pretty nice. And we'll just skill 1 here, and this will kill off the Celine. Okay, Lilias goes, and you know, I think we can rip skill 3 here on Lilias, but you know, you could just skill 1 her also, that's fine. Save your skill 3 for when you have defense buff, I guess. Yeah, that did not do a ton of damage to Aiden and Ed. Okay, if we can kill Lilias here, then we'll go stealth mode, and Aiden will not be able to attack us. Chomp. Okay, I think we got that kill even though we missed, so yeah, we stealthed. Ouch.
You have no value to me.
Okay, do I want to get a counter by Aiden, or do I want to go... I guess I hit Ed here because I might not get countered. Oh, we do, because we have Song of Stars. It was probably better just to hit Aiden there and get the... proc the counter that way. Because now we're provoked, but now we can go on Ed again. We don't get the defense break. If we did, he was turbo dead here. We got double defense broken there, or I mean, provoked, I mean, but, so that worked out. We got to cut and kill him. And yeah, so this should be a Karina showcase now. Yeah, it was probably better to go on Aiden there and not the Ed. That would have procced our Karina. Yeah, that would have been a much better play. So, misplay there, but I think we still pulled it out.
I have no doubt in my bones. I cut you down.
Alright, he's gonna dunk Lua, but this doesn't matter. So yeah, overall, I mean, she's definitely worth pulling. She's a limited unit. Both, you know, her and her artifact, I think, are going to be useful. She's not a unit you can just slam, though. You have to really fit her into the right draft. And she has serious weaknesses. You know, Karina's a big problem. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Later.